Hello and welcome to UltraSpace. I'm Melissa Barrett Rhodes. If you've ever dreamed of living in a home that exudes urban glamour, this is it. Designer Stephen Roberts transformed this Chelsea apartment using his signature white-on-white palette, dramatic lighting, and translucent walls, creating a chic, futuristic loft that glows like a giant light box. The apartment features only one bedroom and two bathrooms within its spacious 3,200 square feet. Well, Stephen, I noticed in this very large space that there are windows only at the two opposite ends, yet the main living areas are in the center, and it really doesn't feel like there are no windows there. You've achieved a very light feeling. How did you do that?
Most of the apartment is white sheetrock, but then we have about 4 or 5 different types of glass. We've got white painted back glass in the kitchen, then we've got a different type of glass in the front windows. It's a white palette, but there are a lot of different things, and I guess you don't always notice the changes. The apartment is actually cream rather than white, so again we're trying to balance the cream of all of these walls against the white gloss formica that basically the kitchen's built out of and all the paneling systems are built out of.
Stephen Roberts is an Australian designer living in New York. I've seen a lot of his work in person, and what I love about it is it has this ethereal, glowing quality that just makes you gasp when you walk into the room. When you walk into the foyer, you're confronted with these beautiful uplights built into the terrazzo floors, and they just glimmer against the sheen of the laminate white walls, and it's such a glamorous way to enter an apartment. Well, poured white terrazzo floors are certainly a signature of your style. I see it throughout all of your work. Why are you so drawn to that material?
This type of terrazzo, the epoxy terrazzo, is easy to clean, it's really lightweight. Once you get it right, it stays that way. But we're also just trying to do something different, I guess.
Well, the kitchen island as a lit object is very unconventional and it really works. I mean, it could be borderline, disco tech, but it actually looks so elegant and beautiful.
We used to do theatre work in Australia in the mid-'80s, and I guess quite often when we're looking at these projects, it's almost like doing theatre. Every time we look at a view, every time we look at an object, it's basically for dramatic effect. And the kitchen obviously gives you exactly that. A lot of the lighting is about basically putting light behind glass panels. The kitchen bench line is done that way so that we end up with this glowing thing that then reflects light throughout the space. There are a lot of sliding glass doors, so we've put lighting behind carefully, and then we've lit from the floor up rather than the other way around to again try and turn this into this glowing box rather than having the glare of lighting straight in your face. As much as possible, we were trying to conceal all of the appliances, things like the Sub-Zero refrigerator.
So they're drawers also for
exactly freezer drawers, and dishwashers that now totally disappear. In this case, we tried a lot of different types of glass because we wanted to match the backlit glass to the front.
This is beautiful. I mean, it's just painted white on the back of the glass that you see the translucency. Certainly the way you've grouped the furniture throughout the space. I mean, it's so glamorous the way the pieces just float on the white terrazzo with the lighting and the uplighting. But at the same time, you've done these very intimate groupings that feel very comfortable.
I think the way we have the apartment generally is very structured, but there's this expectation that basically you can move any piece, and you should push things around. I mean, you've got 100 square feet to float through. That's the way it should be.
The dining room is really far away from the kitchen, which is kind of an unconventional placement for a dining room. Why did you choose to put the table there?
I think you really want to maximize real light in a dining room. Also, we really only have great windows at the front of the apartment. It just seemed the best possible place. We had plenty of room, obviously, around the apartment. We could have put the dining table down in the centre here and, made it easier to serve. But I guess that wasn't our focus. I think walking in and seeing that dining space from the entry is a fantastic thing.
One of the signatures of your work is the levels of privacy that you can open up or close down within your space.
Yeah, I think the best apartments basically unfold as you walk through them, and this is, a pretty good example of that. The dining space basically is trying to be kept private in some ways from the rest of the living area. We've had 2 sitting areas either end of the dining space. And then coming down, there's a fireplace set up, and there's a slightly more formal living room.
The bath itself is so over the top and decadent because it really is part of the master bedroom. I would love to take a bath in this gigantic Japanese soaking tub. And what's so genius about the design of it is that it really is part of the master bedroom. The glass wall slides open so that you can be in the bathtub and really enjoy the rest of the room. So this is the Stephen Roberts version of a Japanese soaking tub. What kind of wood is it?
It's actually hinoki, which gives off a scent when you put water into it, and it's usually left with water into it because basically the timber expands when you put water in, closing up the seam. My clients, one of them is basically Japanese American, and they wanted a Japanese soaking tub, which is normally about, half of this size.
More square.
Absolutely. We ended up obviously making the whole bathroom focus on this. We have a fairly large bedroom, sliding doors into a dressing room, which again expands in one direction, and then a glass sliding door that expands back into the other direction. You end up with this preparation area in the morning that's enormous.
So Stephen, after all of this hard work, how does it feel to finally be in the apartment and see what you've done realized?
Obviously, it's fantastic. It's the thing that you spend, a year of your life, getting ready for the day that you can stand here. But just because it looks like it's so totally finished, that's usually not the case in these projects. Coming in and moving things around and deciding that we could do something better, or just revisiting stuff in whatever way we can.
So it's not ever really finished. You're just continually evolving this.
It's never finished. It's never finished.
Well, that's fun for a designer.
It's fantastic for a designer.